Good morning, YouTube viewers and subscribers. So on the table here today is this recently gifted to me engine from a really awesome man, Roger. This is the Enya 60. It's a 7032 model. And I was just doing a little bit of cleanup on this engine with the toothbrush because there was a little bit of, some grime and stuff around there, and I like to have my engines looking nice and clean. But I'm going to go out and take this for a run. But one thing I thought was really interesting was that I read the closest article about this engine that I could find, and it mentioned something about the first iteration of these, which I believe this one is, having some nasty tendencies of maybe throwing props and being difficult to hand start or whatever. And it turns out that those issues all centered around the size of this hole in this baffle, and the article actually mentions, so if you think you've got this issue, measure the size of your hole and then just bore it out to an 1/8 of an inch. Well, I measured this hole and it is not 1/8 of an inch, so that does confirm to me at least that this is an original. And of course they didn't chrome plate all of them anyway, except probably the original. So it's going to be interesting to see if I experience any bad behaviors with this engine. But look how shiny it is. It's so shiny you can't even hardly see it. It's like the sun. Let's take this out and give it a run and see how she does. I have a APC 12.6 prop on here. I don't know the origin of this glow plug, but I did pull it out. It's an idle bar plug and it looked like it glows really well, so I'm just going to leave it in for now and give that a shot. And I'm going to be running Omega 10% fuel in this run. Backwards. Okay, there you have it. Pretty nice run. The engine started very easily by hand. I mean, the first time I probably over-primed it and it was going backwards. But after that, I think it was 1 flip to get it going. 2, I don't recall now. But the engine runs really well. Not exactly sure how well it should transition from idle to full throttle. It was decent, but for an older engine, who knows? Maybe they just didn't transition perfectly. The article I read about this said that the best running position for the air bleed screw was about midway covering the hole, which is a standard starting point anyway. That's where I had it initially, and then as the run went on, I was leaning it out a bit, so I was opening it, allowing more airflow in. That's how I was turning it. I don't know that it seemed to help much at all. I mean, it still kind of stumbled a little bit, but it's an engine from 1966, so didn't do too bad, and that plug in there was obviously, good enough to run the engine too. So very nice running engine, extremely loud. Luckily I don't have too many people complaining, but loud engine, good runner. It's an Enya. What do you expect? Thank you for watching, and Roger, thank you very much for this engine.